Right. So we woke up to the news that a young soldier known to play the trumpet so very well, 21-year-old Sheriff Imoro, had come from his station to Accra for a training and sought permission to visit his mother in the Ashaiman community. It was during that visit that he met his untimely death. Then the community was greeted by military personnel who were on rampage on Tuesday, March 7, with helicopters and armored vehicles. Civilians were brutalized. This, by our count, circumstances of military brutality that we have been able to count, this will be the 10th in less than 3 years. Professor Kwesi, Professor Kwadwo Appiagyei Atua, let's start with you, Professor Appiagyei Atua. I'm sure you have read the military's response. What would you say?
Samson, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I feel outraged. I feel dismayed. I feel so disappointed about what has taken place in Ghana, in 21st century Ghana, 2023, after 30 years of return to constitutional rule, where the rule of law is supposed to work and for people to be considered as citizens, not spectators, in the own words of our president. What happened really takes us years back, generations back, and it's a sore reminder of our past. Some of us who experienced a little bit of military rule and the fact that there was lawlessness and disorderliness. I think that is what happened at Ashaiman. And it violates every law in the books. The Constitution is clear about how citizens should be treated. The fact that we have a whole chapter in the Constitution on human rights, and for the dignity of human beings to be degraded to that level is appalling. It's just condemnable in the strongest terms. And it is a wish of every well-meaning Ghanaian that action should be taken to make sure that this matter is not pushed under the carpet, but the people involved are duly sanctioned and punished.
To be frank with you, when I saw those footages and pictures, I doubted that this was Ghana.
Yes.
I doubted that this was Ghana, where in your constitution, you put there in Article 15 that the dignity of all persons shall be inviolable. No person shall, whether or not he is arrested, emphasis, whether or not he is arrested, restricted, or detained, be subjected to torture or other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment, or any other condition that detracts or is likely to detract from his dignity and worth as a human being. How does this coexist with what we have just witnessed in the country?
Well, the two can never go together. The rule is that the Constitution, as you rightly said, the dignity of the human person is supposed to be protected. The same Constitution talks about the fact that everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. What took place was an extrajudicial act aimed at brutalizing innocent people. It was claimed to be an intelligence-led operation, but it was not. The police had a role to play. The police started something. The army came and usurped that responsibility placed on the police. And the police went mum, which is also very shocking and frightening if the police cannot protect us. And so in this situation, we see where rule of law has been shoved aside. It's not only the constitution that we can refer to. Ghana is a state party to the Convention Against Torture, Cruel and other forms of degrading treatment and punishment. Ghana is a state party to that. We've had a special rapporteur visiting the country, visiting our prisons, to look at how the country's laws respect torture and how torture and other cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment and punishment is actually respected in the country. And the report was not very good. And so this is going to add to the stock of our record. And it's just not the right way to go.
The question again, looking at the Constitution, about all Ghanaians or all persons being equal before the law. The law says that even, and I'm quoting, where a person is charged with a criminal offense, he shall be presumed to be innocent until he is proved or has pleaded guilty. You may have all these beautiful things in your constitution and your jurisprudence, which in the law courts, it is better that 100 guilty persons should escape than that one innocent person should suffer. But in a situation where, in the face of these same laws, that says you don't have the right to take another person's life. If people take the life of another person, will this not be justified? Some have justified this.
It cannot be justified because we have laws that regulate such matters. What we are seeing on your screen, it reminds us about slavery. It reminds us about how our ancestors were lined up, packed like sardines, whipped, beaten, and taken across the Atlantic to the Caribbean and to the New World. What we are experiencing is a violation of the Constitution because the Constitution talks about the fact that apart from being presumed innocent, even where such matters are to be resolved, Article 12.1 says that the responsibility is placed on the executive, the judiciary, the legislature, and other organs of the state to respect the constitutional provisions on rights. So when you look at the way the whole operation went about, and the defense minister says that it was sanctioned from above by the military high command, and the military high command is under the control and direction of the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who is the president of the republic, then it looks like we are applying the law in a way that favors the people in uniform, as has also been confirmed by the Minister of Defense, that we should respect people in uniform. And then another commentary is that we need to be disciplined. And so what they did is to discipline us. But that is not the way the law works. It is the work of the police. Just yesterday, I read on your portal that the police have made some arrests. And there was a previous information that some investigations were being conducted by the police. This is how the law is supposed to work. And so if the killing of that young man, unfortunately, is a very sad story. And incidentally, I have a nephew who is a very close friend of this young man who passed away. And before all this mayhem would be unleashed on the people, we were all expressing our regrets and even to our young boy. So it is not that people want to overlook what happened, but the law must be made to work. People are presumed innocent. So if you conduct a swoop and you arrest 184 or more people, and then you beat them up, not only the torture they suffered at Ashaiman, but also at where they were taken to. Some were even made to lap like dogs and so on, and then left almost naked to return home without a word of even apology from the military high command. Shows how degraded the whole armed forces has been reduced to for what they did. And so we need to let the law work and make sure that due punishment is meted out so that there will be order in the society. People will not be afraid of the police. I want to refer you to a case decided by Justice Kwadwo Appiagyei, in which he made a point clear that the people in uniform should not be made to do things according to their own way. And this is the case of Republic versus Chief Superintendent Lydia Y. Donko and DSP E30, ex parte Mohammed S. Okaija. It's a 2016 case. And he said, I think that as a country with a history of abuse of constitutional rights of citizens by persons in uniform who loved to, quote, show citizens where power lies, unquote, at this time of our democratic dispensation, the police are expected to comply with the law, especially the Constitution, in the discharge of their duties. So this is a case where a soldier has been allowed to run on a rampage and destroy properties. And the police could not arrest him because he's a person in uniform. So the need for the police to also do their work is very critical, so that by now these people should have been arrested and dealt with, or at least the police should make the attempt for us to know that if they are not successful, then there are some big powers behind them, and we'll be able to identify where to pinpoint the blame and to demand accountability.